friends and family. Now, I wanted to share a little bit of my personal story, as I started to share my personal story the other day, and I've really been led to start sharing a little bit more of my personal story, as I don't talk about myself. I don't like talking about myself. However, it's something that I've always been led to do. And I mean, like, since a child, I've always been led to share my story. At the age of 10, I told my mom I would write a book, and I received a message today, and there's a sign. So I have Your Magic here. There's a sign that's on my wall that says, "You're currently living in an answered prayer." Now, when we share our stories, when we share our truths, when we share our testimonies, that's ancient medicine. As we share our stories and our testimonies, it activates others. It activates ourselves. It's healing in itself to speak your testimony, and it truly activates others to speak in theirs as well. And this morning, so I'm going to share this morning, I prayed for God to use me, and which in my Pisces reading, so I guess we'll go there first, I shared of how I started this YouTube channel. And I channel a lot of and it's 111 as soon as I say that, and 11%. So you could be seeing 1111. I channel a lot of the Kalima energy, 144, which is not really accepted by a lot of society, by a lot of religions, by a lot of cultures. Like, a lot of people just run away, or they, at the first face of Kalima, they run away. A lot of people do, or they take it the wrong way. So I channel a lot of the Kalima energy, just in general, and in my readings and in my life. And I've been on that path my whole life, way before I was conscious of it. Now, I share this, and even in my readings, I share some of the messages I share to shift your perspective. Now, when it comes to Kalima, she is a divine mother, but she really comes in the darkest and the worst of times. She has so many faces too. She has so many faces. So there's just so many different beautiful versions of her. But what most people see is her ferocious, where her tongue's sticking out and all the skulls, and then she's on Shiva, which to most people looks scary. However, from her teachings and my own life and my experiences, through destruction there is creation. Through destruction there is creation. And we are living in a time of Kali Yuga. So right now, prophetic timeline, this is Kali Yuga, which is destruction of old 3D, 4D to bridge that 5D and up and on. And how did I even have this YouTube channel? Now, 3 years ago, my house burned down. I think it was my first apartment, and even before that, it was destruction too. In the middle of COVID, I all of a sudden had to leave. I was homeless in the middle of COVID. I had my little one. We ended up living in a hotel for some time until I found an apartment. We had that apartment for almost a year, and one day the whole building burned down. We were the only ones not in the building. And I was on the way home when I got the call from the landlord that the whole building was burning down. And I shared in the Pisces video that I just posted. This happened 3 months before I started my YouTube channel. So 3 months before I start my YouTube channel, I lose everything. And I mean everything. At the time, I was a bartender and server, so I was receiving, mostly cash tips and stuff. I didn't have it in the bank. I had it in my room. And a house fire. I didn't have house insurance at the time, rentals insurance, and I lost everything. And the only thing that did not burn was my Bible. That was the only thing that didn't burn. And I had a paper Bible. So my bed is disintegrated to ashes. My Bible's right next to it, a paper Bible, and it's in full tact. Everything in the apartment is black and soot and disintegrated to ashes, but my Bible remained paper, untouched and unburnt. And I remember like the pages that I was looking at, like as I, found the Bible, and it was the path before the throne. And what that really is, if we take it from a higher perspective, is that pathway to that new version of your life, to that new cycle. There will be a pathway to get there. And it may not be so love and light. There may be destruction that you experience, the illusion of destruction, as you are moving forward towards that new cycle, towards that new path. And so although I lost everything, I was like, wow, God gives me this clear message to have hope. I lost everything. It's not the first time. And I'm just going to have hope. I'm going to have faith and hope. I found a landlord at the time that had given me some grace. And then I had a new apartment maybe about a month and a half to 2 months later. And it was in that apartment that I was led to start a YouTube channel. And within, I think, 2 months, it went viral. And within 2 months, and it was monetized within, a few more months after that. I didn't have support from friends and family when I started this channel. So my YouTube channel, I told not one friend that I did it. I told not one family member. And so all of a sudden, this support just from all over came in, without anyone actually knowing what I was doing. One, I've shared that I come from a very Christian family, so they accept that God is maybe using me somehow, not in the way that they want me to, but using me somehow, and so I start this channel literally 3 months after this just worst thing, and this big blessing comes in. And me starting this YouTube channel. Now, I have never manifested with this channel. And maybe I was led to bring the You Are Magic, and I think maybe this is what I'm supposed to be saying right now, is number one, but you are magic, own your magic. Yes, but this is just a reminder that your greatest magic too is the work that you do with your subconscious and conscious. That is a holy matrimony when those two merge together. And that is magic, quite literally. There is a holy trinity there. Subconscious merges with the conscious. There is some sort of change, holy trinity. And so I say this to remind you that your inner alchemy is some of the greatest magic it is that you can create changes in your life. I've never manifested for this YouTube channel ever. And I mean ever. I've never written down anything for YouTube God, I want this and I want that. I've never, ever, I was led not to. When I first started my YouTube channel, God had told me, nope. The only intention you have for this YouTube channel is God, use me, and that's it. You're not allowed to have any other intention. And I was just like, okay. I do walk sometimes in blind faith, and it's a balance of the two, of being grounded and all of that. But I walk in blind faith, and I have walked in blind faith. And yeah, so I was like, okay, God, use me. And I'm just going to stick to that. And I have, since I first started this YouTube channel, it was I want more this or that or that. It was always God, use me. And whatever that ends up being, and sometimes it's not what I thought. Sometimes it's been more than what I thought. Sometimes a completely different path than what I thought. And I share this because when it comes to the answered prayer, this morning that came up again, and I was crying at my altar, and I'm just like, God, use me, please. When it comes to like this YouTube stuff, right? Like everything is just extra. It's great if soul clients that are aligned with me come in. It's great if this happens. It's great if that happens. That's all great. But I had this prayer this morning where it's like, God, I pray that you use me. May my presence bring some sort of blessing, some sort of awakening, some sort of love, some sort of miracle to people that I come across. And that's starting with that belief that I am that in my own self, and may I bring that to others, and which, like, we're not perfect, and so we are not always going to be like, not everyone will always perceive us that way. We make mistakes. We are human, like we're not perfect. But God, like, I pray that you use me. And I was crying during this prayer at my altar this morning. And then I received a message from a lovely soul sister actually here on YouTube that was like, hey, 144 Blue Rose Temple, I just want to let you know that I shouted you out because you sharing your story gave me the courage to finally start making videos and sharing mine. That is why I do this. We talk about why, and it just, at least for me, and I know a few other soul brothers and sisters just from all over, that why? What is the intention? Why? And that's for every area of your life. Why? And you may think you know why, but like digging deeper, why? And so I pray that this morning, and I get that message, and I start crying even more. I'm just like, wow, that's an answered prayer. Thank you, God. For me, like, what matters to me just speaking, right? And that's all of us as we just our authentic selves, just who we are, which some people will resonate, some will not. And that's why we have so many people in this world. That's why we do. Because not everyone will resonate. And those who do are meant to resonate with you. It is soul recognition. And so that's what matters to me. And I was just so thankful and in gratitude this morning because, again, everything else is great. But like, when you just sacredly express yourself, so like your art, right? As an artist, you're just sacredly expressing yourself, and someone maybe gets the courage to sacredly express themselves, which can liberate them for a lifetime. And I have chills as I say that, and that's what matters to me. That's rich. That is so rich. That is so luxurious to me, that through us sacredly expressing ourselves, someone may see that. Someone will see you in your sacred expression, whether that be online, maybe it's in your workplace, wherever your sacred expression is. Bring it everywhere you go. Bring it to the supermarket. Bring it to your friends. Bring it to your family. And it will shake up maybe some foundations, but those who love you and who resonate with you and who recognize your soul, that will bring those things and people closer. And so the fact that just me sacredly expressing myself, right? Which we all even do a lot of work to do that, can and has influenced, some people to, like, what, I shared my truth today, or I ended that connection today that I just know didn't serve me, and so thank you for saying what you said, or reminding me of the courage to do that and get through the process afterwards, because it's going to be okay, to own your gifts. To speak even if your voice shakes, that is worth lifetimes to me. And that is so rich. That's so rich to, just by you sacredly expressing yourself, sharing your art, sharing your voice, sharing your song, your dance, your whatever it is, for that to influence someone to make some sort of change in their life that actually changes like the rest of their lives, I feel so rich. It has nothing to do with materials. And so I'm so, so, so thankful for you, Soul Tribe, and this journey that we're all taking. And I posted something earlier today of like, we are all individually walking. We're individually rising in our own voices, our own truths, our own understanding. And we're doing it together and simultaneously. And we can all do that together and simultaneously. And so I just want to say thank you, and your greatest magic truly is the subconscious and unconscious work it is that you do. Because like even when it comes to manifesting, what are blockages? It's the subconscious, the unconscious. I did Hape earlier, so I have a stuffy nose. I've been releasing a lot of mucus, which is a good thing. Hape is a sacred shamanic tobacco, by the way, that really helps clear the sinuses as well as, our energy centers, our energy fields. And so thank you. And I want to remind you that you are magic. That's why I have the coupon code 2024 is magic. Like, you are magic. And so I'm usually very intentional with my tattoos. And this was maybe this was like about 10 years ago that I got a tattoo of like the Pisces constellation. We're just like, oh, Pisces, and so just thank you. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for walking this journey with me. We are here at a time, again, this is Kali Yuga 33, free Congo, free Palestine. This is a time in the collective and in the world where our consciousness is going to be greatly tested. This is also the time for you to remain open and anchored in your loving and authentic truth. Now, part of the reason also why I'm sharing this today is because it's actually my grandmother's 12-year death anniversary. She passed away 12 years ago. She passed away very suddenly. My grandmother's name was Rosa. Both of them are actually named Rosa. Both of my grandmothers on both sides are named Rosa. And my grandmother Rosa, though, from my maternal lineage, she experienced great destruction her whole life. You never saw her cry. You never saw her angry. She never raised her voice. She remained soft. Till this day, I don't know how she did that. My grandmother lived in Puerto Rico, and she didn't really speak much English. She lost both of her parents by the age of 12. She had to stop going to school by the age of 13 because she had a hole in her shoe and she could not afford shoes. So she had to stop going to school. She couldn't further her education past the 9th grade. Past, 13? Not 9th. I don't know. That's like 7th grade or 8th grade, something like that. She lost all her brothers and sisters. She had 7 children, ended up in an abusive relationship and marriage where he was terrible to her. And of course, back then they really, hold on. And, the mother wants to keep things together, protecting the cubs. She had 7 children. She lost her home as well to a house fire, actually, where she had 7 children in one room and just one day lost it. And many others too. And then she lost her children. She lost both of her sons. Her only sons she lost. And a lot of things just that was her life. And she remained soft throughout it all. And till this day, that baffles me. And, again, when we talk about ancient storytelling, testimonies, Bibles, lost articles, because I'm looking at the Magdalene Mysteries over here. Her story, history, her story. The divine feminine is rising in the collective. Kundalini rising, quite literally, serpent of light. And her story is being made known and remembered through us all. And when I say her, I mean the divine feminine, the sacred feminine, Sophia. And yeah, my grandmother was an Aquarius, but she had a Pisces Venus, and a lot of her chart was actually Pisces. That I learned later on in life. Once I started my spiritual journey, I looked it up, and like, oh wow, she was actually more Pisces than anything. To remain soft in a world or a life that can harden you is a sacred gift and a sacred service. And now, don't bypass anything, because, even with my grandmother, what was some of it? Maybe a lot of it was suppression, suppressed a lot. Probably should have screamed. Probably should have had some sacred rage. Probably. But she remained soft. And for me, I look at my grandmother's story, and that will last lifetimes for me. That in itself is like a Bible book. The Bible book of Rosa. Because what? How? She remained so devoted to God. And we talk about ancestral lineages, right? And the healing. In my life, I've shared what I've experienced as well. Some of what I experienced. I have had a lot of near-death situations. I've crossed over before. I've experienced a lot. However, I share this because you don't hold on to that pain. You take the pen and you rewrite it. You feel it, express it, and release it. Because if you don't release it, if you suppress it, if you bypass it, then it remains stagnant. Then you're holding on to that. Make room for joy. Make room for more life. And you can only do that through releasing what does not resonate with you, which is the old stories, the old ancestral stories, the old pain, the old this, the old that, this world, like where we are and where we are heading. You need to feel. We're going through a great diamond activation of the heart space chakra and the throat chakra for the collective. We are meant to be anchored in our truth, and we are meant to feel. We are meant to express. It's healing when we do that for ourselves and for others. And I'm just so thankful. And so I share this to share a little bit of my own story, how this YouTube channel even started, and remember that magic is within you. We've been saying the quote of, I'm so thankful that I didn't get what I thought I wanted. Now, and I do see that in my own life too, because I've shared some of my story, and so I didn't have much, I didn't have parents that were emotionally available for me, that could hold me and make me feel safe in those ways, and that's what someone needs. Someone needs love. We need love. What that song by Rihanna? Lift me up, hold me down. We need love. We need love. And we are love. You are love. You are an embodiment of love. And so on my life journey, while I maybe experienced things that I could complain about, or weren't so great, or not so love and light, in Hinduism and many other cultures, it is the belief that the human reincarnation is one of the lowest reincarnations. The lessons you do not learn in this lifetime, you will learn in other lifetimes, if you don't learn it. Which, to some people could feel like control, or it could feel like, going against like your own free will and things like that. But truly, like what people may see as like the harder path, if we look at it at a macro scale from a higher perspective, those lessons that you're learning that may not be so easy, you are clearing that pathway for lifetimes and for generations to come. And the realizations of just getting out of your own way, where it's like, oh, I actually don't have to keep living this. I don't have to keep living this ancestral loop. I don't have to keep living my own karmic cycles and loops. Opening the third eye to be able to see those things, and then thus shifting the reality without of you with your intentional action and intention. And so I'm very thankful for what I've experienced, and so open to completely shifting that. And we have to be open to shifting that. You should not accept those old stories, which that takes accountability. There is freedom found in accountability. There is soul liberation found in accountability. And by not playing victim. That's something that Kalima teaches. And, Kalima, facing fear. You have actually Horus, cosmic gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. Horus over here. Kalima, there you go. Facing fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. Kalima, I didn't choose this path. I did not. Again, I grew up Christian. And then all of a sudden, this crazy looking woman came to me. And I was just like, hi, I am who you are. And the path has not been easy. It's facing your own fears, and it's being accountable for all time, spaces, and dimensions, and all of your own energy and all of your own circumstances, which is not easy, but it truly liberates you and actually propels you forward. It allows you to soar by not remaining stuck there. And so I'm very thankful in my life of the things that, maybe I've wanted, as a child or a teenager or as an adult, because those lessons that I've learned, right? I've experienced homelessness at least 10 times. At least I've been hungry. I've been this, I've been that. In those times, even from a child, I was like, okay, well then I'm just going to seek God. Maybe I don't have the people around me right now. Maybe I at the time, don't have a family that supports me in the way it is that my blueprint, my expression needs. But I have God. And so what my path has taught me was that anything that I seek outside of me is truly within me. Anything. Truly. And that is sacred union. 11:11. As soon as I say that. That is sacred union. Where it's like, God is my beloved. God is my lover. God is the beloved and the lover. And we're in this sacred dance. That is inner sacred union. Truly, that is the twin flame journey. And so, all of us, we are always on this journey. It's just remembering, I'm like, oh, wait, we've been on this journey. We're just awakened to the fact that we've always been on it. I'm so thankful because it has truly helped with my own inner union, and unions without of me. And so, thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And I share this to encourage you that you are magic. And it is truly through your shifts and perspectives and in the healing work, it is that magic happens. And even when we talk about magic, right? Light a candle, right? You light a candle. What is that? It's still the Holy Trinity. It's still the Holy Trinity. It's you, right? You are trying, in magic, you're trying to make your subconscious conscious, trying to bring something to reality, right? There's the candle, there's you, and then there's some sort of change. That is the Holy Trinity. And as you merge your subconscious with your conscious, that too is magic. It creates a change and a shift without of you, an internal shift, which all paradigm shifts start internally. And so this world is going to keep reflecting back to you of just like, it is time to rise. It is time to change. And it's truly all for our highest good. All right. You are magic, especially for that year of 2024, which is the year of 8. Abundance, closing final karmic cycles, and community union. Okay, there's going to be a lot of twin flame reunions next year. A lot of spirit babies want to come through. I got chills as I said that. There's a lot of soul tribe coming together next year. 3, 2, 1 as I say that. There is abundance. We got that Jupiter and Saturn, especially for the Pisces, because Saturn's in Pisces for a little bit, and we have Jupiter coming. And so abundance, which is spiritual abundance, which is why we are all reprogramming of how it is that we view that and our relationship to that, because doors are opening and closing final karmic cycles, which have been really revealed in this year too. This is the year of 7. So thank you for being here with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you in all time, spaces, and dimensions. I love you. There is that coupon code 2024 is magic for 24% off if you would like any personal sessions, personal readings, or Akashic records if you are called. And yeah, thank you for your path and thank you for your service. I love you and I hope you have a great day.